Hello, how's everybody? I'm watching Kelly. This is Kelly, and she's trying to get on the camera. Okay, you want to get on the camera? Okay. Ah, 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 ah. Okay. Okay, Kelly, look at the camera. Okay, there. Okay, Kelly. Now I have to finish. Okay. So anyway, I'm watching her, and now she's laying on the bed, so she'll be happy now. I think she likes the videos. She definitely likes when I do the music videos. Okay, this is going to be the answer the question of my friend. Wow, it's such a good question, and I'm so happy that she actually did it in such a beautiful way. I mean, intelligently. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna answer this question. And how am I gonna do this? What do I want to say first? Um, the first thing I want to say to clear up a lot of things, if you can really um, um, really put your mind to not put your mind to it, but just I'm just gonna say it. Um, a lot of people don't understand, or they do understand, but they don't really ponder it. But God can. God helps His people. Okay, and the structure of the things that even like what we're doing. We're trying to do things, we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that. But He's helping us, okay? We have our own free will and we could do what we want to do. But then remember when I said that the truth is everything you do. Well, then there's other things too. There's when we come together, when two truths come together, the things that I do and the things that another person does, then it creates like a power, okay? Because the more people that we have working together, doing things, that makes power, okay? Um, so, but with power, you need some kind of help, okay? And everybody that I'm talking to or my friends believe in God, okay? Well, you got to trust, I mean, not trust, but that's what the working force is. When we're coming together, we get help for the things that we want to do. So that's the number one thing that we all do. We're all praying. Believe me, we're actually getting help to do these things together that we want to do. So and she's going crazy on the bed. So that's the number one thing, that we don't have to worry about a lot of things as long as we do, as long as we work together. Okay? Now that gets into Christianity. So I'm going to start reading this thing, right? Oh, I'm going to start reading what the comment has. Okay, I'm going to put it over here so I can see. So it says, okay, I have a question. Okay, who made slash establish the word Christian? Okay, now we're going to get into meaning. Okay, that's a word, but it has a meaning. Okay, and we're also going to get into what we are. Okay, there's a lot of things that for something to happen, there's a lot of things that's going on. Like so I'm going to say, how can I put it? Okay, like during Jesus's time, okay, those people didn't have anything. I mean, we can't even imagine what they did not have, okay? And people were always always under other rich forms of government, like the Jews, okay? That's where it all started. The Jews were not in power. They had to follow laws or live under some other society, okay? But when Jesus came, Jesus allowed us to, how can I say, use his power? I mean, let me see. Jesus came, God came on earth to give us a chance to be free, okay? It was supposedly just for the Jews, but Jesus made it so that everyone can enjoy a freedom. Remember, before Jesus came, there was no freedom. There was no individual freedom, okay? So when Jesus came, they believed in Jesus, and Jesus gave us the freedom to be individual, to do things. But that entitled a lot of work, and he stressed it to them, to the disciples, that it's going to be hard, but we have him, and we're all working, and we all have to work together in him to get these things done. So it was just the Jews, and then Jesus made it so that not just the Jews, but everybody else can enter. Now, this is before all the structure and everything came about. You have to remember that these are all things that everybody already knows. So where am I going to go with this? Okay, so now let's see about. So Jesus came to free us, and he, like I said, let everybody. Okay, this is what I was saying before the structure. Okay, we were all just, so I'm including like we as Christians, okay? But it didn't have it didn't have the Christian title. But we had Jews that Jesus told his disciples, you have to accept everyone, okay, who wants to be a part of him, part of Jesus. So then Jesus made it so that everyone was able to have that same freedom as not just the Jews, but also those who weren't Jewish. Okay? So, but you got to remember, there was no structure back then. Now we're talking about structure, and we're talking about religion. Just think of it as people who, just poor, mostly poor people, but then because the Romans and everything were accepted too, then you could be poor, you could be rich, you could be anything to be accepted into the Jesus's love. Okay, so you have all these people together. So think of Christianity as a movement. Okay, everything is not based on. I mean, like I know you said in your letter, I mean in your comment that everything has to be right and everything has to be facts. Everything, but everything is all together happening at one time. If you study history, you know that this event is going on, this event is going on, this event is going on, and this event is going on. So right now, I painted the picture. There's no structure. There's no Catholic Church. There's no anything. The only thing you have is people who believe in Jesus Christ. And the major reason was the Jews who believed in Jesus. Okay? And we have to stay right there. I'm just keeping it so that we're just talking about Christianity. So try and think of that. Just try and picture that, of all these people, some of them, most of them who were Jewish, who believed in Jesus, and then they started finding followers, other followers. They were Romans, they could be anything. And they started coming together. Yes, we believe in Jesus. Yes, we believe in Jesus. So some things are up to us. And I'm not saying Christian itself, but the meaning of being a Christian was the power that we got. Okay. So not one thing that people don't understand is that we have a power too. It's just like what we're doing right now. We were kicked out of organization because we didn't believe in whatever, okay? And look how organized we are, okay? But don't say that it's just us. We have to say that it's because of Jesus that we have this organization. Why? Because we all believe in that one thing, okay? Everybody has their own opinions, yes, but we're getting along together basically because of Jesus. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. So when you're talking about facts, there's different kinds of facts. Like everything that we've already done in this YouTube, ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTube, because I do other things too, is done because we believe in, I would have to say, Jesus Christ as God because of this, okay? Maybe you want to believe in facts. Maybe somebody else understands exactly what I'm talking about. And, oh, yeah, that's right. But if you notice something, we're all getting along. And that's what Jesus came. He didn't come down like, you're right. He's very radical. He didn't believe in this. He didn't believe in that. He didn't believe in this. He didn't believe in that. He just wanted you to believe in him and enjoy living together as one with him. Okay, so now you have that, but the only thing about it is now you have to worry about this. People were living in basically Satan's world. Okay, so we believe in Jesus, but not everybody else believed in Jesus. So what we had to do is we came together and we made a meaning of what Christian is. This is before Catholic and everything like that. I don't know what term it came up with, but they came up with a term, just like nowadays, it's called a movement. They had a Jesus movement, or I guess it was called Christianity, okay? I mean, if you look into history, it was Christianity, okay? And you have to try and understand people, and then you have to understand structure, okay? Because then we had to live in Satan's world. And then we have Christianity. And I'm not talking about yet how we came together and started forming a structure. But Jesus gave Peter the responsibility of making the church, okay? But a lot of people don't realize it. It's not really religion. It's more of a structure, okay? He wanted Peter to create a structure on earth, but it wasn't. And Peter wasn't perfect, and he made mistakes also. And so you can see the type of people that he had to entrust in him in order to keep us together so that we could live as one and do everything that we're doing nowadays. Because we pretty much, as a Christian, let's say the first century Christians, they had an individual power. They were important individually, before the Christians, they had to live according to what this structure said or what this structure said. They didn't have a say. But when Jesus came, because Jesus is God, he gave us the power to be who we want to be. So it's not so much the Christianity. Christianity comes from just normal people. The meaning of Christianity came from normal people. So I wouldn't down Christianity. It's a meaning. I mean, it's a movement. You can call it whatever you want to, but these people came together who believed in Jesus Christ. But then I'm saying, so you have the movement of Jesus Christ, but they have to live somewhere. They had to live in Satan's world. And not just that, but then something else happened. When they were not accepted at all. I mean, Christians were not accepted at all. And that's important because when you're not accepted, the only structure that allowed them to survive was the fact that they believed in Jesus and Jesus is God. So they did not have to, well, Jesus told them that they were going to suffer and there was a lot of things that were going to happen to them. But he was with them always. And they were able to survive, and this is before all the structures, they were able to survive as Christians. You can, the meaning of Christianity is believing in Jesus Christ. Those who believed 100% in Jesus Christ. And then they formed their own world, what they call it, the catacombs or whatever, because they weren't accepted. They weren't even allowed to anywhere, okay? And then they had to create a structure. It had to, because, Jesus gave Peter the responsibility of forming a structure. But remember, that structure had to live inside Satan's world. But the only thing they did have was the fact that they believed in Jesus, the power of God that they had. They could pray. And with that prayer, they're able to live in harmony together. There's nowhere else where people who think so many different ways can just live together and understand together, okay? But then, after he had the structure, like I said, I'm pretty much stopping it there because then you could see how things worked out, because they had to form a structure. Without a structure, you can't do anything. But even though they still had, they formed a structure as far as the Christianity is concerned, which God helped them all individual. But the thing about it is that we don't realize is that it was an imperfect human structure on earth. The people themselves are the one who have the power, because they can relate to, they can pray, okay, and they can communicate their feelings to God. So God deals with them individually, but still and yet they still have to have a system on earth in order to survive the world, So then that's where you have so many different religions that came to be. Not just that there wasn't like I said, he left the structure to Peter, but he knew that a lot of the people were not perfect and not great, okay? But the major thing that Jesus left on earth was the structure. And that's the most important thing. I myself don't believe, I know that religion means disagreement. That's what religion means, disagreement, okay? But you got to look at it this way. there's religion, and then there's Christianity. There's Christianity, and then there's Christians, the meaning of Christians. And that's how we get along, is because we have individual power, our freedom, our free will to serve God, and we put our faith in Him. So you have to see that power, and then you have to see the structure that people have to live under. Okay? The nice thing about like the ex-Jehovah Witnesses is because they left that structure, and we're getting along by just being Christian. Okay? The meaning of Christian. Now remember, there's so many meanings for Christians as far as different religions are concerned, but you got to look at this other form of Christian. So we have the Christians that are individually serving God, and then they have to live on earth under structures. Okay, like right now we don't have a structure. The ex-Jehovah Witnesses don't have a structure, but they're surviving. Why? They're living in harmony. It doesn't have, they're not in a religion, but we still have the core part of being a Christian. The core part of being a Christian, and you could pretty much say Christian for so many things, but the core part of being Christian is that you believe in Jesus Christ as one. You can pray to Him, and He will help us. Like I said, when our powers come together, the thing that organizes us is Jesus. It was like, okay, well, this maybe these people here, let's do this, let's make sure this works out. Now we're trying to make this thing with the ex-Jehovah Witnesses, which I'm not going to blurt off what we're trying to do, but we all know in our hearts what we're trying to do. But do you actually think that we're actually just taking care of everything as far as everything is concerned? No. So that's my number one thing, is I know how those things work because I have a lot of experience. As far as facts are concerned, yes, there are facts, but facts are intertwined, like I told you, with everything else. Like I just told you, our power as Christians, I mean, when I say Christians, I mean our belief in Jesus Christ, point blank. Even as a Catholic, okay, I'm a Catholic, but the thing about it is I'm just like every other Christian, because when I'm speaking about God, it's separated from what's ever happening in this world. I mean, as in the world, as earthly, we have to get along earthly. I mean, we have to get along in the earth. So we have to deal with each other, and we need structure. We need to follow this person. We need to follow this person. But as far as God sees it, He sees us as individuals. So our power is in heaven. As far as Christians are concerned, the meaning of Christians. But then you have Christian religions, and these are pretty much disagreements that we have. But we have to think about the first century Christians. The meaning of the first century Christians are actually being one with Christ. So everything is like mixed in, but if you see the whole picture, then you could do things like, oh, I could do this. That's why I don't worry, because I know that like you want to know one of the Christian people, one of the Christians that really helped me out. I mean, like, for instance, Whitney Houston is to me is somebody to look up to, okay? Because I know that she was a Christian. I also know that when somebody gives other people that much love, because of what she gave, I know the negative things on the earth are going to say, I know that they're saying like, wow, look at this person. She's making so many people happy. She's talking about God and she's a Christian. And the negative things on earth are going to fight her 1,000 times more than they would probably fight one of her fans. Okay. So that's how my mind goes. Okay. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people can understand that. So it's just that fact of trying to understand where we stand as Christians. Okay. So as far as the ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, I can see that they're not Christians because they're not one with Jesus Christ. I mean, they do not give him, okay, now scientifically, that's another thing. You talked about scientifically. Yes, I go by science. I go by Christianity. I go by the way the world is. I'll go into your things that you're interested in. But it's because the thing that you don't see is that because I can do that, okay? Now, everybody can do that, but I've been trained to do all these things, okay? Like, for instance, when you talked about the charters, okay? I got it in my mind, how where it fits, okay? When I gave my letter from last year, I wrote it and I'm going to mail it. I know where it stands. It's to let those people know that's what I did for myself as far as myself is concerned. Let them know that I'm here and I'm concerned about this point. Anything can happen. They could say, he's right. Let's stop using the Bible. You never know. Okay. And then I have the charters that we're going to go into. And you're talking about, in the comment, what I'm talking about is talking about the facts. Then we have to do facts. Facts are things on like what they did technically as far as forming this organization, but everything goes hand in hand. Like, for instance, the scientific paper that I made of the data, that is to strengthen my ability to understand what's going on inside the square of no power. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't have any power, but I need to know what's happening inside. I could bust the inside. Without the inside, they don't have anything else. So there's so many ways in which you can do these things. But it's not just me. I listen to everybody and I'm doing it, okay? But the major point is that God is watching us all. And that's my major form of structure, is that I know, I can tell, like, he's making sure that this works out. He's making sure that that works out. It's my 100% belief. And a lot of people, and some people might say he's babbling, he's doing this, but they don't understand. The only way you can say I'm babbling or don't know what I'm talking about or whatever is because most likely that person doesn't understand what they're talking about. But they're coming to this channel. They need to get their channel, and then they can do their structure the way they do it. My structure is 100% is I think about God first. Okay. Now, so when you talk about Christian, okay, so the major thing I want to set in this video is the fact that we're working from a Christian standpoint. There's Christian religions. We're not talking about Christian religions. We're not talking about religion at all because the ex-Jehovah's Witness just left a religion. So I'm not even talking about Catholicism. I'm just talking about as a Christian. If you can see that point of how we as human beings who believe in God is one power, okay? And like I said, it's everything you do. The truth is everything you do. Everything. If you were in court, if my channel went to court, they would say, what did you do? Everything you do. We want to know the truth, okay? when you bring those truths together, it makes a power. So we're working together. So the major thing I want to say is that we are working together as Christians, people who believe in Jesus Christ. You could say Christians, or you could say those who are at one with Jesus Christ. Okay? You could say that, or you could say that. The Jehovah's Witnesses are not one with Jesus Christ. That part I'll use scientifically. And then when I get to the organization of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, then we would just have to deal with most likely facts. So that's a factual part. And then you have the Jehovah's Witnesses, which are my family. That's another form of work, okay? Which doesn't deal with, it has to deal with facts, but it has to deal with something emotional. So I hope that helped you. But anyway, now the person has my email. So anyway, that's it for this one. I hope I answered it in such a way. And I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. And like everybody told me, happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.